This little scene in Fusion 360. This is the fourth time I've done this. It just keeps on not recording the video. So this is, I'm going to try it one more time and then I'm going to give up if this doesn't work. So I'm rendering up this right now. It's just a little shot glass with some ice out in a kind of outdoor cafe. Let's go back to turn that off and go back into our design environment. And you can see the basic cup, liquid, and ice. It's the cup is, let's turn the table off real quick. The cup is kind of square on the bottom and round on the top, so I'm going to use a loft command to do that. I am going to create a new document, and we're going to start over. So first thing I'm going to do is I'll create the ice cube first, because that's the part that keeps on disappearing. So I clicked on this form environment, purple cube, go down to box, click a plane, bring this out, and what I did before, I said 1.5 tab 6 sides on that face, 1.5 tab 6 tab 1.5 tab 6 and tab out of here. Okay, so that gave me my basic cube, and got an idea here now. I'm going to grab just a bunch of random sides. Doesn't matter. This is just to make it look a little bit less perfect. And I could grab some edges as well. And so it's supposed to look a little bit like a melted ice cube. And I'm going to go all the way through here and do all of this at once, and then I'm just going to enlarge it slightly, and hopefully that will give this a little bit more of a wobbly edge. And I'm just holding down Shift while I select all these, and the bottom as well. And then I'll go right click to edit form, and this time I'm going to grab the very center, which is the enlarges everything all at once, and say 1.01. Let's see what that does. Maybe 03. There we go. Okay, so that should give it a little bit of a wonky surface, and you can kind of see it on the top. Yeah, it looks kind of a little less engineered. Now I'm going to go and say, go down to my appearances, and we used a bubbly glass texture before. So under glass, under not smooth, but textured, glass bubbles. And so let's save what we're doing here. This is cup 30. That's about how many times I feel like I've done this. I really don't know what's going on and why it keeps on crashing on me. The other thing we did is we made this surface a little less bubbly, but maybe I'll do that in another operation. Let me see if I can get the glass going first. So I'm done with this ice cube. I'm going to say finish form, and then all those sides go away. Now I'm in a solid environment, and I'm going to start with my cup. I'm going to click on this. If you see up here, it says bodies. It's got this little blue underlining, and then body 1 is our ice cube. So let's name this ice, ICE, and hit return. And now I'm going to turn it off with this little eye icon. Now I'm going to make a create a new sketch, and the bottom plane looks like it's already selected, but I'm going to select that, and I'm going to create a square, rectangle, from the center outward. And let's go to 2 by 2. This is good enough. 1.4. So it's a little bit bigger than the ice cube. And I'm going to give it some radius edges. So I'm going to go to Modify Radius Tool, or Fillet. So click on a bunch of these and go through. And it says radius 0.04. This, I don't know why it wasn't working before, but let's try to go to 3. there's something weird going on there. So, and then I escape and it's got this one corner. I don't usually work in the sketch environment for the very reason that, so now this one is, sorry, I'm rotating out of my view here. So I'm going to click back on the top and the upper right. This one, see, is smaller than the other ones. So the other ones were 0.04, 0.04. Nope, 0.4. Double click on that, 0.4. Oh, Jesus. Just one of those days. So I've got, this is too long. So let's just see if we could throw some dimensions on here and refix this. Oops, sorry, back in my sketch environment. So this is now finished, the sketch. So, but I can go back in here to this sketch and either edit here by right clicking and say edit sketch, or down in the timeline. So let me see if I can fix this. Create sketch dimensions, and I'm going to select this to this, and we'll say 2.5, 2.5. Yeah, that's not what I wanted either. What is going on? This to this. Try it again. Repeat sketch dimensions. This to this. 2.5. Okay, that one worked. Now let's try changing this one again. 2.5. Cross your fingers. Oh, good. Okay. All right. Finish sketch. All right, so now I hit my bottom. Now I got to do the top. Let's go up to, we are going to construct offset plane. I'm going to select this bottom plane, scoot this up, let's say 3 inches. And now I've got a new plane. I'm going to make a circle on that. So I'm going to say create new sketch, hit the top view, and, or did I already select that plane? Sometimes I have to turn it to select it. Now I want to select a circle, center diameter circle, and center, and a little bit bigger. And I don't care what that dimension is, I'm just visually doing this. Finish sketch, and I've got this. Now I'm going to create a loft between this and this plane, and I got that. I'm just going to accept everything as is, and then I'm going to hollow this out with the shell tool, which is under here, shell. And this asks you to select something. You want to select the face that's going to go away. 0.1 was good. And now I've got the basis of my glass. I'm going to save this again. And then I'm going to throw, let's see, we said 0.1. I'm going to throw some radius edges on here, radii. So that was 0.1, so let's go 0.05 on both of those. And say OK. And then I'm going to, before I could radius this, but I noticed I was having a little problems. I'm going to pull this bottom edge up to make the bottom thicker. So, whoops, cancel that. So either this press pull or offset face. This time I'm going to use this because it seemed to be thinking it wanted the whole edge. So I can kind of barely see through there, but I'm just going to start with that. Maybe we'll throw some material on this. Modify appearance. And this one, just glass window. Boom, okay. And now I can kind of see, yeah, that looks good. So we'll throw some radius edges in here too. A big one on the inside. Whoops, come on. You gotta go a little slowly because it kind of jumps around. Okay. And then a smaller one on the bottom. Repeat fillet. And something like that. Okay, and now I'm going to turn my ice back on and move that up with the move command, which is over here, move. And it's easier to select it in the browser, so select the ice in the browser, and then in this move command makes it a little easier. And what we did last time was we rotated these things around a little bit so that it looked a little more natural. Now this edge is on plane, so let's rotate that a little as well. and get this more or less centered. Okay. Now you can kind of see that ice is a little bit bubbly, so I'll fix that in a minute. And the glass looks a little short, and with this loft from square to round, in some views it looks like it's a little lopsided. It's just the way the nature of that is. So let's make this a little bit taller. So I'm going to go back in time and say, let's that offset plane, we'll edit that feature, which was 3 inches, and we'll go 3.5. And notice that because I offset that plane now, and the circle was on that plane, it pulled that up with it and modified everything to go with it. And maybe if I turn that sketch back on, which is the second sketch I did, you can see if I grab it, move it out, it'll move out, grab it, move it in, it moves in, and this is really powerful stuff. So let's say that's good, and so liquid. First, let's save this, and I'm going to add some liquid in here. And now I'm just going to create a new object. I'm going to do a cylinder. And actually, I should turn all these off, but I need to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to select that plane, select the center, drag way out, because this is going to be bigger. And I want the liquid to kind of be up in the top of the glass. Now, it's asking me if I want to cut this. I don't. I want to make a new body. And just hit OK. Now I want to make this liquid, actually since I made this cup bigger, I should probably move the ice up, which was this command. So I'm going to edit and move this up now, and stop. I'm going to go back to this feature and edit that as well, and bring that surface up now to kind of match. And that looks good. And now I'm going to use a thing called boundary fill. This one's kind of trippy, but we're going to select 2 objects, this one and this one, and we didn't select the ice, so that's the select tools, and then select cells. I'm going to rotate this up and just select this top surface, and that highlights this one, which is the liquid in there, and I'm going to say new body, OK. And it looks like nothing happened, but I've got an extra body in here. Whoops, not that one, this one. So I could turn that off, and let's label these. So this will be LIQUID, and this is the cup, and so CUP. And now you can see this weird banding is happening here. Let's save this before we go too much further. The weird banding is happening because the surfaces are touching. So I'm going to turn the sketch off also, I don't want to see that anymore. I'm going to make this surface, or not this surface, this object a little bit bigger. So I'm going to turn off the cup and use this press pull command now to use this side, and this side. And I'm going to go 0.05. Whoops. No, 0.005 is what I want. Repeat that command, this, and this. 0.005. And that's going to make that just slightly bigger. And that should make the cup and that intersect a little bit so you don't see that weird banding. And I'm going to stop here because I've got a little beeping noise I got to take care of. So one more time, we'll save this. User saved. On these, the ice cube, we got to make that subtract out of the liquid, and then mess around with the colors a little bit, and then render it up. So let's take the let's add the liquid to the liquid color to the liquid. So last time we used this transparent plastic red. Oops, that says glass. Let's go down. Kind of curious. Actually, I'm going to leave that just see what it looks like. And the glass kind of looks a little bubbly. You see that? Because of that material we chose. So let's go back to repeat appearance and double click on the glass bubbles, and we'll just change the scale. I think I went up to 8 before, or 80. We want it to look wobbly, but not, you can see this, like, that looks like a texture. Once we get to a certain point, it's just going to add this kind of nice wobbliness. Even though we made the cube wobbly, this will do a double duty on that. So 84 is good, done. Close this. Oh, sorry, one more time. Repeat appearance. I'm going to make this a different color, a little brighter, make it a little more orange. And I'm not sure about the absorption distance. Sorry, can't talk. But I'm going to try 0.8. That's what we did with the plastic, and we'll see if that looks good. Now we got to subtract the cube from the liquid, and then we should be good to go. So let's turn off the cup. So I will turn off the cup, and I've got these two. And now I'm going to use this combine feature. And this one, it's important, the operation. It's one of those days. I thought I turned off notifications. Target body is going to be the liquid, and the tool body is going to be the ice. We want to cut that out, make a new component, and keep tools, and boom. And now this actually already kind of set us up here. If we turn off the ice, we can see there's actually now a hole in this liquid to absorb the ice. But we got to make the ice a little bit bigger because it's going to do that same weird interference look. So we just want to make it slightly bigger. So you'll notice if I just grab one side of this cube, the whole thing enlarges, which is very nice. That's what we want. And we'll go I think, wait, I forget what. Let's do it one more time. So if I look at what the increase over here is, now I can kind of see, let's go 0.005 again. And that should make that ice a little bit bigger. If I turn on my cup, that should be all three things. And the last thing we did was we made a table. And here I'll just grab this, or here, let's do a create a box. And we want to select that bottom plane, which sometimes you have to rotate around to figure out what you're trying to do. And then go corner to corner on the box. And we're just making the table. And it automatically defaults to going up. We just push it down. We don't want to join, we want a new body. And we'll say OK, and then let's modify the appearance. And we'll use the solid woods. And these ones aren't downloaded, so they have that little arrow. This one is. Last time I tried this, it said that there was an internet problem. Yeah, see, can't be downloaded. But this works. I got this one. And then we went to render this, but we need to change the environment. So I'm going to change under this little setup icon here, environment library. We are going to choose the outdoor environment now, which was called Plaza. Just drag this in or double click it. But we also have to choose that environment. So on the settings, it says solid color. Click on that and change that to environment. And I'm going to zoom in here a little bit and close this. And usually I rotate the environment around a bit to see if I can get a gooder view. Let's see. I don't know if I want that building reflecting in the top, but blue sky is kind of nice. Maybe let's try something like this. And I'm going to choose the in-canvas render instead of the other render. And that will just render locally on my computer. And I'll let this res up. Now I did some other optional renders of this. I'll show you later. Because when I start rendering, I take a look at it and see if that's what I want. And if not, I go back to the setup, click this little plus arrow thing, and then drag this slider across. And this rotates the environment around. And here I'm starting to get some interesting effects with the lighting. but the ice cube, the glass actually is magnifying the ice cube, so it looks a little weird. So maybe I might close this. Once again, I'm going to save this. Oops. Okay. And go back into my design environment. And again, this is all parametric, so I'm going to go back to my original ice cube, which is back in time, and right-click edit that, and double-click the whole cube, edit form, and I'm going to grab the center and make this smaller. And I could do that after the fact too, but I think this might be easier, and then it'll move and do all its little operations. And notice it's just barely sticking out of liquid here. That's probably okay. Show. So now I'm going to get a nice, I'm looking for an angle where I'm just seeing the edge of the ice cube, but a little bit more of the glass. And I might go back in time and rotate that a little bit. Or let's bring the edge of the glass down so I can go back to my sketches. This is sketch 2, and turn on sketches and grab that edge. And let's pull this out a little bit. And so notice everything updated, and then I'm going to go back in. Actually, I have to, no, I don't have to finish form because I didn't actually edit that sketch. I just turned it on and moved it. Now I'm going to go back into this second third thing in there, which was my the offset plane, and I'm going to move that down a little bit. Just said okay, and then that brought the glass down in height. And so this maybe will be a little better for the rendering. So let's go back into design, render, and get some kind of nice, I like that lighting coming over here. I'm not sure, sometimes it looks different in the preview than it does in the actual render. So let's let that render up for a while, and I'm going to post this, and I'll post this new, some options on the render here. All right, thanks for watching. I hope this time it worked.